let us start. So, today we are going to be trying something a bit different to 3D World because I am, quite frankly, tired of that game. And 3D Land for that matter. We're going to try something which I'm going to be doing maybe a bit more frequently. I want to sort of I've always been like very interested in sort of running investigations on certain games. A few years ago, even on this channel, I actually did one for like Forza, to like find the fastest hypercars and SUVs and stuff like that. It on Assetto Corsa because you can basically get tons of different mods for Assetto Corsa with thousands of cars, and as a result, I've sort of added thousands of cars to my library, and I thought I may as well test them. I've done this in the past, but I thought, you know what, I may as well document it, and the easiest way to document it is by doing a stream. So, I still got the same thumbnail or whatever. We'll just log on to. I'll just see if I can log on to the chat, and then without further ado, I will get going and sort of explain how it's going to be. This one's going to be a bit shorter because it's the first round, but I'll effectively say what the season's going to be like. So I just need to get into the stream. And I've just realised I'm probably going to need to go for dinner in a bit as well, so that was probably a bit smart. But without further ado, we will get started. Right. So for the first race, we're going to be going around Bahrain. This is going to be about a half-hour race. I'm basically simulating like an endurance championship season, but instead of like 1, 2, 3, 6, and 24 hours, I'm sort of doing a bit shorter races. So yeah, this will be the first of which. So without further ado, we're going to let the cars start doing their qualifying laps. So we're going to set 10 minutes for qualifying for the first short race, and the race itself will be about half an hour long. So without further ado, let's see some of the contestants. So we have a BMW. We got Renault. So basically 30 different car manufacturers, and we're going to see over the course of a 12 race season which of these cars will come out on top. We've also got a lovely Chevrolet here, Chevrolet Corvette. Probably one of the newer cars of the field. Got the Vento Aria, again a car I didn't really know, but there's so many mods on the Assetto Corsa, and this does classify as a GT3 car, which is going to be the class of cars we're going to be testing today. We've got a Toyota Supra. We've got a Lotus Exige. This is the only car which isn't actually GT3, it's GT2, but I have tested this beforehand and it is scaled accordingly, so it will count as Lotus's representative. We've got a McLaren, so again, most recent sort of McLaren endurance car. Again, we sort of got car years ranging from about 2013 to about 2023, so that sort of decade. We got the Ferrari, again, a fan favourite. Let's see how the Ferrari gets on this season. A Honda. We've got the Audi as well. So again, all the major car manufacturers getting represented in this field. We got the only car manufacturer which I've allowed two different cars from is Mercedes, and it's because it has both the AMG SLS model and just the regular Mercedes model. So we're going to be trying both of those out over the course of the season. So that's the regular Mercedes. We've got the Porsche. We've got Acura. We've got an Alfa Romeo. A Ford. Again, I was going to use the Ford GT, but again, that's a GTE car. I want to mostly just test GT3 cars, so it's hopefully going to be quite a balanced field to decide the season. We've got a Ginetta as well, one of the older cars in the field. I think this is a 2009 Ginetta, so probably one of the only cars which is before the 2010s. We've got probably the newest car in the field, a Maserati. Again, probably quite a sleek looking GT3 model, but just showing sort of the new sort of range of GT3 cars they've got. You've got a Nissan. Again, it was a tough choice between using the GTR or the 370Z as Nissan's representative, but I've gone with the GTR. Again, they're both a similar-ish pace, so it shouldn't make a big deal. You've got the Cadillac. Cadillac with its own representative. I know I've got quite a few American viewers, so you've got Ford and Cadillac sort of towing the line for America here. You've got Lexus as well. You've got Mazda. Again, this is sort of a concept car, but this is the only one I've sort of added. But again, it does count as GT3. We've got a Scuderia Glickenhaus, a Jaguar, Lamborghini, an Ascari, again one of the older cars of the field. This is, I believe, the other Mercedes which we're looking at. So I think this is the SLS. We got a Radical's got a car representing as well. Bentley. I think we've pretty much gone through most of the field now. Aston Martin, Dodge Viper, and yeah, we're back at BMW. So there's going to be our field of 30 cars. Which car will come out on top over the course of the season? We're going to hopefully run 12 rounds, but knowing me, I never finish seasons, so we'll just see how far I get, really. And yeah, the ultimate goal is to see which of these cars over a 12 race season will get the best results. Again, there's going to be different lengths of races. So this one today, 10 minutes qualifying, half-hour race. But some of the longer races will be about an hour long. There'll be 2 1.5-hour races, and then the final race at Le Mans, which will be double points, will be we'll be going for about 3 hours, I reckon, 2-3 hours. So we'll see when we get there. But again, Le Mans is notorious for the 24 hours of Le Mans, so I thought I may as well end it on a more important race. But yeah, without further ado, the first times are kind of rolling in, so we're going to kind of see how it's going. Again, everyone's just setting banker laps at the moment. So the leaderboard is basically just whoever set off first at the moment. But we're on board with the BMW about 2 minutes into its first flying lap. And this will be one of the first cars to set a proper lap time. And we'll kind of see how all these cars are stacking up heading into the race. So without further ado, yeah, see what the BMW is going to post in terms of times. Again, it's looking like it's going to be a low 230 range, or maybe just sub 230. That could be a good benchmark as we cross the line. This is the endurance layout of the Bahrain track, and it's a 230 exactly. The Renault will slot in just behind with a 231. What will the Chevrolet be able to post? Will it be able to get in front of both of them? Again, a 231, or 232, so the slowest of the cars so far. We've got the Vento slotting in with a 231 as well to slot into third place. As we sort of look at some of the other cars. Again, I've just parked my car in the garage because I'm not going to be participating in this. But we'll see what the Toyota posts. And again, it is a 232 for the Toyota. No one's beaten the 230 so far. As we look at some of the other cars coming around. The Ferrari up ahead, 231. What will the McLaren post? 236 for McLaren. So not the best flying lap for the McLaren so far. You've got the Honda just behind on 233, but it seems like 230 is a pretty solid benchmark from the BMW. Again, one of the first out, the first to set a proper lap. And yeah, without further ado, that still hasn't been topped as we see some of the other cars going through. We've got a 233 on the board from the Ford. Lexus and Cadillac about to finish up a lap. So we'll see if they can slot in roughly ahead of it. But again, so far, the 230 seems to be the time to beat from the BMW, but we've still got some other cars to come through as we are on board with the Lexus. Again, only 18th for the Lexus, another 236. Same for the Cadillac. So amongst the slower times we've seen so far, we've got the Jaguar about to pull up. Again, pretty good time, 231. But again, moves into P3, but again, no one able to sort of break that sub 231 apart from the BMW, who's about 8 tenths clear at the moment of anyone else. As we look on board with the Lamborghini, again, a 231 from the Lamborghini. The Ascari, 239. Oh no, 236 for the Ascari. So again, all the cars within about 5-6 seconds at the moment, which is good. It's nice to see it's balanced over the course of a lap. Mercedes as well, 236, but I think might have been held up by the Ascari a bit, so it's going to try to overtake it on this next flying lap. But only got about 1 or 2 laps left of qualifying, and so far the BMW still in first place with that 230. So again, 234 for the Radical. Bentley with a decent time, 232. But yeah, nothing else seeming to sort of get a better time so far. The Dodge hasn't even finished his lap yet, and it's 2 minutes 40 in, so I don't know if he had a little mistake over the course of the lap. But yeah, the Dodge looking like it's struggling a bit at the moment, so we'll just bear it. It's still got time for one more flying lap, but at the moment it's going to have to improve on its time. But yeah, everything else seems to be within about 6 seconds or so. So you can have a look here. Yeah, the worst time at the moment, I think, belongs to... Oh, it's quite close, but I think probably the Mercedes, surprisingly. 28th place. Um, Again, it's the narrowly behind the Ascari and the Cadillac. But yeah, the McLaren 29th. So yeah, the McLaren and the Mercedes, two of the cars which I would have expected to do better, towards the bottom, and the McLaren's going to pit. So it's going to start from the back on the first race, which is not ideal. Um, some other cars pitting as well. Again, only choosing to do the one flying lap, um, including, including, is this the AMG? Again, retiring on a 231, but that should be good enough for 6th at the moment. Um, let's see what other cars are on a sort of a flying lap at the moment. It looks like, to be honest, everyone's done a much slower second lap by the looks of things. So, again, as we go on board with the Chevrolet. Yeah, again, 232. Previous lap, 233. So no one improving on the lap times at the moment. As, yeah, the Ferrari's in the pits as well. And, yeah, everyone's seeming to pit. So, it looks like that 230, which was set near the beginning of the session. Again, with these shorter qualifying sessions, and there's only 1 or 2 laps, it looks like the BMW could be on pole for the first race. So, we'll just let some of the other cars finish up. But, I mean, who else is even on track at this point? We've got... Is that the Chevrolet, again, 10th place at the moment, but not looking to go any faster on this lap. I mean, is anyone actually on a faster lap? Doesn't look like it. So, again, everyone's either in the pits or going slow. And the Dodge as well, yeah, only did a 3-minute lap time last time. So, again, that looks like it's going to be holding everyone else up. So, we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, without further ado, let's just have a look at... Again, like, qualifying's now over, so every car's just on their final lap now, and again, that's the thing with AI, sometimes they just choose to pit at random times, even when they're on a good lap, so we're kind of just at the mercy of them choosing whether or not they want to post a good lap, and again, sometimes you'll get traffic as well, but that's all part of the randomness of this, otherwise you're going to kind of be getting the same result across the 12 races, but hopefully we're going to be expecting certain cars to do better on certain tracks, it should balance out over the course of the season, but for the first pole, it looks like the BMW will get it with a 230. And, yeah, no one else really within a second. So quite a dominant first qualifying session for the BMW. As everyone else is sort of finishing up. I think Porsche's on the lap. But again, it looks like it's going to be slightly slower. Yeah, again, 233 previous laps. So no one's... I don't think anyone's improved on their previous laps, really. We've got a few going slightly faster at the moment, but again, as we see here, is Janessa on the flying lap? Maybe. Could dip under the 233s. We've got Nissan as well on a lap. So a few of these cars still on a lap going green, so they are going slightly faster, but... And again, to be honest, we could have a rival for pole at the moment. The Lamborghini is going faster than its previous lap and might be set to dip into the 230s. So just when I thought nothing was really happening in this qualifying, the Lamborghini should be able to put itself on the front row. Already in 3rd place, but up about 6/10 on its previous lap. But not the best final corner. That's going to lose a lot of speed. And if anything, yeah, it just peels into the pits. He just binned it on the last corner, I guess. So it looks like no one improving as we wait for the final 2 or 3 cars to finish up. It will be the BMW on pole ahead of the first race. As again, yeah, have got the Ascari on the final corner. Will it choose to pit or will it choose to finish the lap? That's the question. And again, in true AI fashion, it's gonna pit. So yeah, no real drama at the end, unfortunately. But again, we've got our grid set for the first rounds. And without further ado, we'll jump into it. But again, like the Dodge only setting a 3-minute lap time, so that might start getting in the way quite early. And to be honest, I might just sort of take the Dodge to one side so it doesn't get in the way of the rest of the field. But again, if you look at our order then for the first race, 12 laps of the Bahrain endurance circuit, the BMW puts it on pole. Second place will be the Renault so far. Again, they're pretty much the first 2 cars on track as well. So the first 2 times of the session proving pretty clutch, to be honest. We got the Mercedes-Benz, which will slot it in sort of third place there. Again, I think that is the SLS model, so the faster of the two. The Lamborghini puts it in 5th, the Ferrari in 6th, Jaguar 7th. The other Mercedes recovering to 7th. So again, I think that he was down in about 28th at some point, but at least somebody managed to improve on their initial time. Porsche in 8th. So again, a lot of these heavy hitters towards the top, as you would expect. The Vento Aria, again, which I'd never heard of before this investigation, in 9th. So good showing there. The Bentley 10th to round out the top 10, and the Chevrolet to be just outside. But again, as we look towards the bottom of the table, you got the McLaren right at the back, the Dodge, which didn't even set a proper lap time, and yeah, again, two cars I would not really expect to be at the back. Again, the Lexus as well, struggling. So without further ado, we're gonna set the race, 12 laps total. We're gonna add one pit stop for each car, and yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get started with the race, and we're gonna move the Dodge to one side because before retiring ourselves, because I think that Dodge is going to be causing a lot of problems because of how slow it is. So without further ado, lights out, away we go. Let's just take the Dodge to one side quickly, and then we can follow the action. So, right, let's go to pits. Right, so if we go into turn 1, will we catch the action? And again, immediately, the BMW under pressure from the Renault. Again, the Lamborghini holds on to 3rd position from the Mercedes. But as we look up front, the Renault immediately going to be high challenging for the lead after sending it up the inside of the first corner. But again, it's going to have to watch out for P2 from the Lamborghini, who again, she was showing it could dip into the 230s before aborting its lap in qualifying. And it immediately is going to try to take that 2nd position, but won't be able to hold it. The Renault defends, but this is just going to allow the BMW to escape up front as the Ferrari in 5th, looking at all of this happening in front of it. Most of the cars maintaining the position amongst the lead pack. Again, as we got the Mercedes just behind as well. All these cars are coming through to begin with. So again, the Vento, the Alfa Romeo, as we sort of just see the gaps forming as we go back. The Maserati's trying to send the move on the Mazda. All the way down in 16th for both of these cars. Two of the newer cars of the field, but sort of in the mid-pack at the moment. And isn't able to make the move stick. So for now, not really many moves. We've got a move here, actually, though. The Nissan side-by-side of the Acura. Will it be able to make the move stick? They're going to be side-by-side, losing some time. I think the Nissan's made the move. Will the Acura be able to fight back? No, it has conceded the position. We've got another close battle here between the Ford and the Radical, but doesn't look like any move's going to shake up here. Is the Ascari going to make a move? Wasn't able to do too well in qualifying. And currently lost the position to the McLaren, which of course started right at the back. But again, isn't able to make stuff stick. But Renault has caught back up to the BMW and will try to make a move on it. And yeah, it looks like it's going to make the move stick. So fair play to the Renault. But will the BMW be able to fight back on the inside? Oh, the Renault's gone wide. That's actually going to mean that the Lamborghini could have a chance, but no, too far back. Meanwhile, we've got a big battle between Ferrari and Mercedes. If any of you follow F1, that is a rivalry as old as time. But again, not able to make the move stick. The Mercedes hangs on to P4. You got the Jaguar quite behind these guys, to be honest. Again, the Ferrari's going to send it up the inside of the Mercedes. It won't stick. So your top 5 pretty much staying as they were at the beginning. Maybe 1 or 2 moves off the start, but for the rest of the lap, no real moves being able to stick in this sort of top pack. The Lotus seeming to go for a move on the Ginetta, but again, it's going to come down to straight line speed on the straight, of which the Maserati seems to have the legs over both the Mazda and might be able to get the Toyota as well. As we go into turn 1, it's going to get both of them. So great move from the Maserati. Can he make it stick up into P14 after a pretty poor qualifying from what we were expecting from it? But again, the Maserati making a double move into turn 1. And again, it looks like the Dodge is still sort of sauntering around 20 seconds behind the field. So I'm going to have to make sure to take that out quickly as we're going to hop on board with our perspective. And we're going to just take out this Dodge quickly just so it's not going to impede any of the races because it's going to get lapped at this rate. And again, I was not expecting the Dodge to be this slow. But let's just take it out anyway. If I can do it effectively. So into someone, you can just see the AI just not doing anything. So let's just take it off the track. so it's out of the way. And we are back to the action. So as we go to on board with the top 5, looks like the Ferrari made the move stick on the Mercedes in the end. The top 3 still as they are, but the Renault all over the back of the BMW. So it looks like whilst it was sort of in front at the beginning of the race, and after in qualifying, the BMW doesn't seem to have the race pace as the cars behind it. As we still got this top 5 relatively intact, and the Jaguar is actually right at the back of this pack as well. As we look back through the field, any close gaps forming? We got the Maserati again. Oh, sorry, this is the Scuderia Glickenhaus, a few positions behind the Maserati, which again is already eyeing up another position after making 2 positions up at the beginning of the lap. We've got the Aston Martin down in 19th, representing Great Britain, and not able to make the move stick on the Nissan, but should be side by side as we go into one of the only and with this inside line, will it be able to take the position? It looks like it has a chance, but again, we saw the Renault stuck on the outside for this corner, but the Aston Martin will have no such problems and has the move done already before that corner. So back to the leaders. Again, this is a close battle for the lead, but the Renault all over the BMW and base of the cars behind. We've got the Jaguar as well, eyeing up a move on the Mercedes, which has sort of dropped off the face of the planet of the top 4. Just doesn't seem to quite have the pace as the Lamborghini setting the fastest lap of the race, but that's immediately trumped by the Ferrari. So all of a sudden, the Ferrari seems to be the fastest car on track. A full 3.5 seconds quicker than the Mercedes, and a quick second quicker than the guys in front. Even so, these guys have been squabbling a lot, and sure enough, the Lamborghini is going to try to go for a move. Will the Renault be able to fight it? On the outside going into the next corner, it looks like the Lamborghini has made that move stick, so finally seeing some movement in the top 5. The Ferrari's got into 4th, and the Lamborghini into 2nd. So the Italian car's doing well, but as I said, bad drive off that corner will lose the position out to the Renault, and all of a sudden has to worry about the Ferrari as we sort of approach the first round of pit stops. Will any of these cars be able to jump each other in the pits? Right now it's looking like the Ferrari is all over the back of these guys. The Mercedes has fallen back, and if anything is under pressure from the Porsche. So yeah, it looks like there's going to be a battle forming there between those sort of cars. But again, if you sort of just leave this battle for a bit. Yeah, I'll be through in a second. Got the other Mercedes up the inside. So if anything, the Mercedes might be able to beat the superior SLS model, because right now it is carving its way through the field, and the the SMS is kind of holding up this little train here. So we'll see how that develops before the first round of pit stops. You've also got the Vento, who, of course, did well to qualify in 9th, but sure enough has fallen back a bit to about 11th or so. So again, we'll see there how that sort of pans out as we oh, we're gonna go back. Just open this up quickly. So we go back to the acts after a pretty good start. So now back to the front, and the whole lead pack is bunched up at the moment with you know, the top 4 pretty much nose to tail, but still no the top 4 pretty much nose to tail, but still no movement at the moment. So I think we're gonna have to sort of wait until pit stops, which could happen as early as this lap. So we could be about to see some movement amongst the field, because right now not many overtakes. As you can see, the Maserati up to 9th. So I mean, the Maserati was down in 14th at one point. I think the Porsche retired, so that gained the position. But all these other positions are coming from track, and all of a sudden, you can see the fastest lap. It's the 2nd fastest car in the field. So could this be a late charge to sort of get into the top 5 by the Maserati? Because it seems to be faster than the cars ahead of it. But again, not able to make the move just yet, as the Audi's going to run a bit wide, and very wide. And that's going to mean it loses the position to the Maserati, and maybe even the Bentley as well, as it's now under pressure. But oh gosh, look at the Vento up the inside of the Bentley. They're going to go side by side going into the final corner, and the Mazda is going to be eyeing up both of them. And we'll be able to get a double slipstream down the straight if they remain side by side. But we'll see, as again, it's getting squeezed narrow. Very defensive driving from the Bentley, considering they're both AI, but they're still side by side. So it looks like the Mazda could have a chance to overtake them both, but is just too far back. But again, does the Bentley have the straight line speed over the Vento to pull that position back? Well, we'll see. Up ahead, actually, the Mercedes are going to go side by side. As again, what happened to... God, the Ferrari's dropped off the top 3, so I don't know what's happened to the Ferrari, but all of a sudden, the Ferrari has dropped for a move and got spun round a bit, but hasn't lost any positions as of yet. But the top 3 still staying the same, still up front with quite a gap, and you see here as the SLS goes up the inside of the Mercedes. Is order resumed? Not quite, because they're going to go side by side, and Mercedes is going to fight it, but the SLS, the superior traction around the outside, will take the lead into the top 5, and immediately the other Mercedes is going to come on Maserati, which is on an absolute mission through the field. I think started all the way down in like 18th or something, and is up to P7 already. So great drive so far from the Maserati, as we cut on board with it, and we're going to look further down the field at the moment. The Lexus going side by side with the Radical, yeah, gosh, there's a lot of battles going down further down in the field. So you can see here, sort of a train extending up to about 17th place or so, as they're going to go side by side again. The Radical up the inside, and not able to make the move stick on the Lexus there, and yeah, really managing to extract the most from these tyres before the pit window, and yeah, it's bringing the SLS with him as well. So without, well, it's going to soon be a 5-horse race for the winner by the looks of things. Meanwhile, there's quite a bit of a gap down to the Maserati, but again, the Maserati lapping quicker than the front 3, so it could even be a 6-way battle for the lead at some point. But again, it's all going to depend on the pit stops, and it's going to depend on where these guys come out. The Jaguar was about 7th or 8th, the first of the guys to pit, and you can see already, already ahead of, is that ahead of the McLaren? Yeah, the McLaren is down behind some of these guys who pitted without making a pit stop itself. So we'll see here the gap to the leader, 37 seconds and closing. So the Jaguar is lapping faster than leaders at the moment and may be able to jump a few positions. Maybe ahead of the Mercedes in P7. So we'll see once the leaders start to pit how that's going to pan out, as again on board with the Lexus, the back of the pack when it comes to people who haven't pitted yet, of course, apart from the McLaren, which is even further behind. So again, we'll see what happens to the Lexus once he ends up pitting. As we go back to the leaders, who's going to end up pitting? We'll see, but oh my goodness, we've got a move going here. And the Lamborghini is down to 5th place. It's just lost 2 positions all of a sudden. It's going to peel off into the pits though, so the damage will, you know, not be as bad as it could have been. But it means the Ferrari is now in the lead with the SLS, and they're 2 fastest cars on the track, and they've chosen to pit a lap later than everyone else. So this could be a bold strategy from these 2 cars, as the Mercedes completely sends it up the inside of the Ferrari from about 10 or so car lengths back. And they're lucky to avoid spinning each other out. But again, we're just going to pause it here, because I need to quickly go dinner, and then I'll be back to cover the second part of the race. Rounding the final corner, and should be able to take the lead back. It's going to be close though. We're going to be on board with the Ferrari, who is coming out of the pits. It's going to be close though. We're going to be on board with the Ferrari, who is coming out the pits. So it will be a close call between the BMW and the Ferrari. Has the Ferrari used its superior place? A close call between the BMW and the Ferrari. Has the Ferrari used its superior place to take the lead? Oh my goodness. It is comfortably in the lead. And the SLS is, my goodness. It is comfortably in the lead. And the SLS is going to be in third place when all is said and done. And all of a sudden, by staying out longer, the SLS and the Ferrari are now 1 and 3, both on the podium. And yeah, it was only a matter of time. The two fastest cars, and Ferrari, unlike in F1, playing the strategy to absolute perfection here, because noticing they had the more pace and deciding to stay out in clean air and use that pace to end up overcutting the BMW, and it's already got a 2-second lead. The BMW will come under pressure from the SLS in due course as we look at the rest of the field. The Maserati up to 6th place. Again, 11 seconds off the leaders, but looks like it might be able to chase down the Renault, who I think in the grand scheme of things has lost out the most on this round of pit stops. Hey Galumba, welcome to the stream. Trying something a bit different today. We are seeing which GT car is the fastest in Assetto Corsa. We're going to do a 12 race one, so I'm just testing out some stuff. But yeah, I mean, so far been pretty interesting race up front. We're just seeing which of these manufacturers can take the lead, and the Ferrari has managed to take the lead after the pit stops. All the way down from like 7th from the grid, so it's had a good race so far, the Ferrari, and looks like it has the pace to go on and win it. Again, 4 seconds a lap quicker the race pace, so I don't see the BMW win. Meanwhile, the SLS is now right behind the BMW, so I reckon got the Cadillac and we got the Porsche. The Porsche was running as high as P7 at one point, but unfortunately is out of the race. As we look through the field, all the pit stops have been made. It is now a dash to the finish. Again, this is the sprint race, only half an hour long compared to some of the 2-3 hour races which are going to come a bit later as the stream keeps crashing for you. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that on a future session. I might end up redoing this round then if it's been crashing a lot. But yeah, without further ado, you can see here. I'll probably look back on this stream then, Galumba, and just see how it can be improved going forward, because I guess I'll just use this as a tester run. But again, yeah, the Ferrari is now well and truly disappeared up the road. And yeah, dominant performance from the Ferrari on the first race. Started outside the top 5, but was quite clearly the fastest car on track and has been able to run away with the show. Fair play to the Ferrari, I guess, as we look through the field. It could be because I'm using a lot of like power on my laptop, so I might start reducing the graphics so I don't use as much processing power. But yeah, we're gonna have a look now. Any close battles? We got the Acura again on the back of the Toyota, and yeah, we got some other close battles here. So we're gonna have a look at the Audi going for top 10. Might have the speed over the Vento. The Vento did well to qualify 9th, dipped outside the top 10 at some point, but is now back into the top 10, but now back out of the top 10. So the Vento has had an absolute rollercoaster of a race so far, going from 9th to 11th to 9th to 11th, but looks like it will ultimately have to settle outside the top 10. The Audi is already disappearing up the road. The Mazda is completely gone at this point and is on the back of the Jaguar. Again, like, at some point the Vento was ahead of the Jaguar and is now ended up 3 positions behind it, as both the Mazda and the Audi are making their way through the pack towards the end of this race. Again, make the move on the BMW just yet. As again, the Ferrari now 10 seconds ahead, and is lapping a whole 2 seconds faster than the BMW. Again, it has done a 2:30.1. So to be fair, we are seeing some faster times towards the end of the race, coming from quite a few cars, to be honest, which are going faster than they did in qualifying. So fair play to some of these cars pulling it out. Some pretty good lap times towards the end of the race. But again, it looks like, oh gosh, it looks like the Renault has lost out of position to the Maserati. So I don't know when that happened, but the Maserati again making another position up. And remember, I think it started down in like 17th. So I mean, a really good drive from the Maserati there to get a bunch of points in the first round. But yeah, again, these SLS just, yeah, not quite able to make the move yet, and we'll only have one more chance to do so because the straight, well, the only other real straight where there's an overtaking opportunity, but we're gonna have to wait and see. As again, yeah, the SLS is too far back for a move. The BMW will get that P2 unless he makes a mistake. So fair play to the BMW. The Renault again is tucked back into P6, so it looks like our only real shot of a battle now is between these three cars. A battle for P11, just outside the top 10. And we got a battle down here as well, actually. We got the Ginetta going for a move on the Acura. Where's this come from? And the Acura is going ultra defensive. So we're going to go on board with these guys at the moment because it looks like this could be the last battle. And what a move. If it can make this stick around the outside of the Acura. And the Acura has no answer. And as simple as that is down to 19th place. The Ginetta up to 18th. A brilliant last lap move. And if it's not careful, you could see the Ford trying to make a move as well. As we look up ahead, it's going to be a dominant win for the Ferrari, which takes the win. Second and third for the BMW and Mercedes. The Lamborghini just about finishes in fourth. Maserati, a great comeback drive, take fifth. The Renault sixth. And again, we're going to flip back to the action now. The Alfa Romeo wasn't quite able to make a move on the Bentley. Last chance to go for a move, not quite, too far back. And will settle for position. We now see these three cars. The Acura lost a position on the last lap. Will it lose another? I don't think so. I think it's too late in the day. And it's a very close pack, but I think this will be how it finishes. With the Scuderia Glickenhaus in 21st, the Ford in 20th. And so, time for one last move? No, not. We're going to end it as we started it with these guys. And yeah, as we go all the way to the back, you can see the two right at the back, the McLaren and the Ascari will close our field there. But again, this race only half an hour, so there will